So before you get too excited, this is a picture of the real world. This isn't a model, but it's definitely what I'm aspiring to. Today, not so much the cobbles, but more about the rails. And this is what I managed to achieve. So it's two side-by-side Code 83 rails, which have been super glued to sleepers. Now, it's been a labour of love all afternoon. Been working on this one, and you see how I did it. It's probably not the most efficient method, and to avoid it being too boring, I've sped it up as much as I can. So the method was, half the sleepers you see here are glued down to the board, and they were sleepers which were detached from the rail and turned over, so they have a flat surface. The other half of the sleepers I've left just to keep the spacing between the rails. So what I'm doing now in this bit is super gluing the rail to the sleepers which are glued to the board. The reason being then, when I remove the next ones, as you'll see, what's left behind is a smooth surface of a sleeper, which will then allow the second rail to be pushed next to it. This bit was complicated. Super glue is no one's friend, let's face it. It's a difficult thing to work with. So the sleepers I'm taking out are the ones which were still attached to the rail by the chairs as they come, which were keeping the sleeper spacing. The ones that are left behind were the ones which were previously glued to the board and are now super glued to the rail, which have a flat surface. So far, so good. This probably took 2 hours, I think, to do this, and as I said, it was frustrating. There were a few false starts. The magic of TV means it looks like it was a linear process, which obviously it wasn't. And now you see I come in with the second rail, again super glued down. This went surprisingly well, actually. This part, I really expected the worst. The hardest part here was actually cleaning the super glue out, so the super glue from the first pass, let's say. Then you can see I used some more pins to hold them in place, took them out, and I was very surprised. There we go. So it's two Code 83 rails on each side, and here we go. Train goes over it. To be honest, it's worked out exactly as I hoped, and how often do we say that? Like I said, a labour of love. It's one of those things I really concentrated on trying to do perfection. So taking no shortcuts, trying to be as patient as possible. And it looks like it works. Train goes over it. There we are. If we zoom in now, we can see the final product. So two rails either side, super glued to the sleepers. And it's nice because once the centre's filled in with cobbles, we shouldn't have that kind of telltale gap where you see the sleepers through. That's the aim anyway. So, chuffed, very chuffed.